Man, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? We're back
All right,
again this
man.
week with what we want to call another banger, I guess, because we've been banging the last couple weeks. The subjects we've been covering have been subjects that people want to talk about, people want to see, and people want to hear. This week's episode is tie in with those last 2 or 3 weeks episode, and the title is the American Dream still real for us?
Hey, man,
And
turn
go
your
ahead.
volume up, man, because it's kind of low.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So we're gonna, and when I say is the American dream still real for us, we're talking about black men and black America for the most part.
So,
We can only speak from our perspective. So our perspective also involves the American perspective, but we're gonna speak from our perspective. Let me get you started with a short poem. They told us the American dream was a ladder. Climb high enough, work hard enough, and you touch life, and you'd touch a life your people could only imagine. A house, a family, a steady job, a little peace, a little pride, a little proof that you made it. But somewhere along the way, the ladder got pulled up, the rungs got shaky, and the dream started feeling less like a promise and more like a password we were never given. So today we ask the question out loud: is the American dream still real for us, for black men, for working men, for fathers, sons, brothers, and builders? Or are we chasing something that was never designed with us in mind? This is Gents Making Sense. Let's talk about it.
yeah, good poem, man. I mean, I think that touches.
Welcome back to another episode of Gents Making Sense. I'm Marvin.
And I'm Sulayman, and today, whew, we're stepping into a big one.
A question that hits different. When we say hit different, it hits different, depending on who you are, where you come from, and what you lived through.
Because for a lot of brothers out here, the American dream feels like a subscription we can't afford anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna go to segment one, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. So, what was the American dream? Let's start with that. Let's start with the basics. The American dream was supposed to be simpler, simple. Work hard, get rewarded, build a better life.
But that dream was never evenly distributed, not by race, not by class, not by zip code.
Exactly. For black men, for black folks, the dream always came with the fine print. Be dining, job discrimination, underfunded schools, pay gaps, racial wealth gaps,
And yet our parents still believed, our grandparents believed, they pushed us to chase it anyway.
because hope was the one thing nobody could tax. Yeah, let's get it into the first segment and talk about that. That dream of the white picket fence on your house, and the statement that I hate with a passion: pull up your bootstraps and make something of yourself. Nah. I still believe that it was a it was a pipe dream instead of a regular dream. They gave it to us to keep us settled, to make sure that we worked hard and that we would get a piece of the pie. But just like always, we work hard, they get the benefits.
I mean, this has happened countless times over the history of our country, man, and that's based upon where our country was based off of. I mean, we had post-slavery and the Reconstruction era where, black folks decided to move into their own communities, build their own communities, and for the most part across the country were very successful, which is why you had lots of black towns being overrun or destroyed because the people in the country didn't like the fact that people who used to be slaves were able to create their own economies, create their own businesses. We had the first black congressman in the United States during the Reconstruction era.
Yeah.
And then you had 100 years of Jim Crow. And even despite all the Jim Crow laws and stuff that were going on, black folks still excelled and still did well in this country and built our own, again, communities. We were educating ourselves, invented most of the stuff that we use today in our country. And then we get to the point now where, you know, You have administrations and politicians who are trying to erase all of that history, that we've that
Yeah. I mean, and even when we were doing well, for example, Black Wall Street, we did that. We pulled up our bootstraps. We
Mhm.
worked hard. We got our own. We bought our houses. We bought our business. That wasn't good enough for they wanted to take that too. So, but we fought through that. Our forefathers, our mothers, our grandparents, and everybody, our fathers, and everybody fought through that. And we kept moving up. We kept doing better. Each generation started doing better. But for the last 10 to 12 years, that's turned upside down because of a few people, mainly the Trumpster, has decided that he wants these little minions following him and taking us back. I knew a long time ago when his statement "Make America Great Again," when he said that, everybody get lost and tell me when America was really great to all people. Yeah, I can say that. I can say that, and you can get pissed off all you want to, but damn it, America has never been great to all people. Never.
and it's never going to be. And then that's the problem. We're
Exactly.
always striving to become a better country. At least that was what we were doing prior to this administration, is to become a better country, to give people the opportunity to be successful. And that's all people ask for. No one's asking for a handout. What we're asking for is a fair opportunity, which is what our people have always asked for. We've never asked to be in front of the line or to be given something that we didn't deserve. We've been asking for to get the same exact thing that you're giving everybody else. And that's not what this country is doing. Okay, you look at right now in this administration getting this little pot funds to give out
This
to
is so stupid, man.
these criminals. I mean, taxpayer money, keep in mind, black people pay taxes too, Donald Trump. And you're going to give these criminals money and say that the government treated them unfairly. Really? Well, if we're giving out reparations, maybe you should start with the people that you uh, had in slavery here for
It
400
hit the
years.
nail right on the head. This amounts to
If we're
reparation.
gonna start talking about the government treating people differently, how about we go back to right after World War II with GI Bill and the redlining that was done by banks in this country, and the discrimination and the white supremacy that black folks have had to deal with in this country from the very beginning. So I'll have that conversation if you want to have it, but no way in heck should we be giving those people that sacked the Congress, a few years ago and are criminals, and you're going to give them money for doing that.
Reparations is reparation. But when we as black people say where our reparation is, oh no, you can't get it.
But we don't have the
Y-
money. We can't do
Yeah, we don't
that.
have the money, but you can find money for those few people that you think was wronged, even though it was a crime they were committing.
Right.
Come on, y'all. Let's not be so stupid. Really. I'm telling you. I think Barack Obama had this statement right now, if I can remember it. He said, the American dream is a promise that you got to work for every day and work towards every day.
Mhm.
That's what I mean. America has never been great to everybody.
No,
That's
it
not
never
to
has. I
say
mean,
that that's not to say that America is a bad country. Cause you said it's right. It'll never be that way because we're a country of different people and we're a democracy able to say what we want to say. Now, once we lose the democracy, we can say we're great all we want to. It won't matter, you know. So go ahead.
well, I mean, the problem is that black people in this country have always been Americans. Black people always strive to be Americans. And it's because of how we came into this country and not coming into this country like a lot of other people coming here, which are given things by the United States to start, given funds, given programs that they can sign up for to get an easier start in this country. We never had that. We never got our 40 acres and a mule when slavery ended. So we've always wanted to be Americans, but this country has made it difficult for our people historically, and even in some cases now, for us to be successful. So I am going to hold my government accountable. You don't have to like it. You don't have to listen to what we say in reference to our government, but I'm going to hold my country accountable. And I'll go back to why we can do that. One, it's our right as American citizens. And secondly, the two men that you see on the screen, we served in the military. We defended this country. So I'm going to criticize my government. I'm going to criticize my president. I'm going to criticize our administration because we deserve it. My father served in the military. One of these relatives have served in the military. My brother served in the military. My other brother served in the military. So I have over 100 years worth of family members that served in the United States military. So miss me with you shouldn't talk about your country. You shouldn't hold them accountable. That's not going to happen.
Exactly. Let's go on to the second segment and we can
All
keep it
right.
up.
Let's see. Second, let's talk about it right now. 2026. Why does dream feel so far away?
Start with the basics. Housing prices are wild. Rent is up. Groceries are up. Insurance is up. Wages are flat. Go ahead.
And the math ain't mathing. You can work full time and still be broke.
And for black men, add in higher unemployment rates, lower average pay, higher cost of credit, less generational wealth to fall back on.
Yeah, we're not starting at the same starting line. And you heard us both say that multiple times.
Exactly.
We're starting 20 yards back with weights on our ankles. And I'll just add something in. I said it
Go
earlier,
ahead.
but I'll say it again. People need to look at what folks get when they come to this country. Most people that come to this country are not coming to this country already rich. They're coming to this country and they're given programs and access to programs that allow them to be successful in this country. They're not just flying into Dallas or Philadelphia or New York or Chicago and getting off the plane and walking to a community and then turning things around. That's the biggest lie that this country has ever told.
Hmm.
They are given access to money and to funds and to programs to start. They are put into neighborhoods where they can be successful.
Yeah,
You need to
exactly.
understand right and that yes, they are coming to a foreign country where they have to learn the language and do things differently. I don't want to take that away from our immigrants. But this lie that they just came here and walked into some community and opened up a business, and all of a sudden, 30 years later, they're a successful entrepreneur is ridiculous and it's garbage. That's not the way it works when you come into this country.
And like I said, when we came into this country or even through all Jim Crow and all that other stuff, like we said a few minutes ago, instead of saying pull up your bootstraps and it's figure it out,
Right.
figure it out. You're in a free country, figure it out. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Still expected to provide, still expected to be strong, still expected to never complain.
And that pressure alone can make the dream feel like a burden instead of a blessing. These expectations, these responsibilities can weigh heavy on a brother, can
Yeah.
weigh real heavy on a brother, even middle class brothers like ourselves. The money that we got, the money that we brought in, the money that we got now don't go as far as it used to. And that's a shame. It don't go as far as it used to. We are expected to do all of this and it weighs in on us and we got to be strong. And it's ironic that this month is mental health month. We're celebrating, not celebrating, but looking into mental health all this month and everything. But we as brothers are the lowest on average. We're the lowest one that seek those kind of help, mental health issues. I don't think we're killing ourselves at a alarming rate. Anybody that killed themselves is a bad thing. We drown our sorrows in alcohol and drugs and not going to look for a job. Instead of going and taking care of our responsibility, we go live under a bridge or something. These are the things that we drown ours in. We don't pay enough attention as a group of people. I don't think we pay enough attention to it and everything.
Well, I mean, to follow on that a little bit, I mean, I don't I don't have issues with people that, you know, uh, they see their lives and not being as successful as they would like it to be. sometimes you make the wrong decision, like go and drink or go and do drugs, to
Mhm.
make the day go by faster, to make your problems go away for a little bit of time. I get that. We're
Mhm.
human beings. That's
Yeah.
that's what human beings do. We're built that way and to try to find a way out of a situation. But my point is, as a country and as a people, is that we need to be helping those folks as opposed to taking away from them. I mean, we
Mhm.
can go and spend $2 billion a day fighting a war that we shouldn't be fighting, but yet we can't put that money into our communities, any community in the United States, and help people who are sick, meaning sick by taking drugs, sick by
Right.
doing alcohol. That is a disease. And to stop looking down on those people as if they're incapable. They're capable, they just need help. And we as a country, that's what we should be doing. That's the purpose of your government. Purpose of our government isn't for our administration to get on television every day and talk down to people who don't have as much money as they do or don't have the type of jobs that they do. Your government's responsibility is to the people. So if our people in the street are broke and drunk and high and can't get a job, that's the failure of our government. It's not the failure of those individuals. It's the failure of our government. So that's why we say what we say and the things that we do by holding our country accountable.
And that takes us to the next segment, right into our next segment, the emotional toll of chasing a moving target. We're chasing a moving target. Every time we think we reached our goal, they move the target.
Yeah, it's like it's the Charlie Brown and Lucy effect.
Yeah. Yeah, they take the daggone ball from
Yeah,
under
it's
you,
football away every time you go to beat it.
and
So
then you literally fall flat on your behind, and you
right,
gotta pick yourself up and go again, move again.
sure.
So, first it was get a good job, work hard, you'll make it in this country. Now it's pay a hundred, 200, $300,000, get an education, you'll get a good job and be successful. Never mind that you're $300,000 in debt and everything
Sure.
getting started. So, go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's the marketing plan of it. As I said last segment, the United States is no longer a country. The United States is a corporation. So what you have is you have corporate companies, particularly educational, marketing degrees to people that are worthless.
Yeah.
And you got people who are marketing degrees. Oh, I want to be a something in therapy. Not a therapist, not a licensed therapist, but something in social work. Well, okay, the social work degree costs you 70, 80, $90,000 a year, maybe 50 to $60,000 to get your degree, but you're going to be making that field about 30 to $40,000. So
Mhm.
you're 50 to $60,000 in debt when you graduate, and you go into a field where you're only going to make 30 to $40,000 a year. So you're essentially in debt. You can't pay that back because you can't adult and live and then turn around and repay your student loan. But the marketing specifically to our people is go out and get these degrees because you're going to be this great counselor, and then you go into a job where you can't pay it back and you start life out broke instead of getting into infrastructure jobs, things that build and contribute to the community. So
Gotcha. Go
right.
ahead, segment 3.
Yeah, let's talk about the emotional side because this part doesn't get enough attention.
Okay, the dream used to be destination. Now it feels like a treadmill. You're running, you're sweating, you're grinding, but you're not moving. That's why when people ask you how you doing today, we say grinding.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. And that creates shame, like you're failing, like you're behind, like you're not enough.
But the truth is, just like you just said, the system shifted. The economy shifted. The cost of living shifted. The rules shifted. The rules are shifting every day now.
The Lucy effect, man. But the expectations stay the same. You're still expected to provide and to be there and to build, but your money does not go as far as our fathers and our grandfathers.
Yep. And that disconnect, that's where the burnout lives. That disconnect right there we just got through talking about. It just feel like you can never reach that goal.
Right.
As hard as you try, hard as you try. So yeah, we're talking about a treadmill effect. Segment 4. So is the dream dead?
All right, let's answer the question. Is the American dream still real?
Here's my take on it. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, but the old dream, the 1950s dream, the one job, one house, one pension dream, that dream is gone. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. That dream could get you through. If you had a good job that had a pension, you could work that job for 30 years, get a pension that was enough, along with Social Security, to get you through the rest of your life without having to worry about working and bills and stuff. You can't do it no more.
No, you can't do it. It's not possible. My father did it. My father worked,
Yeah,
retired from the military,
yeah,
but then he worked for the state of Ohio for,
yeah,
a long time, and he was able to retire and he had a pension.
yeah,
And my stepmother still gets that pension, um, since he passed.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not possible at all. Corporations, there's no loyalty. You got the federal government trying to eliminate unions, and companies have no loyalty. I mean, they'll fire somebody at 28 years.
yeah. Exactly. Matter of fact, to save money, they'll do it.
Right. So that person worked for 28 years, and raising their family, putting their children through school or whatever it is they're trying to do. And then the company walks in on 28th, 29th year and terminates them with nothing. Or they say, okay, we'll give you a 25,000, $30,000 severance pay before taxes, of course.
Yeah,
And then, and send you on your way. But yet the same corporations are out giving golden parachutes to CEOs and COOs when they leave. So
yeah.
it just
There you go. There you go.
but it's crazy. Because black folks have always been remix artists, we take what's broken and make it ours.
Mm, okay. Yeah. So maybe the question isn't, is the American dream real? Maybe it's, what does the dream look like for us now? Good question. What
Yeah.
does it really look like now? People don't stay in jobs 20, 30 years no more. They really don't. Max with 10, 15 years maybe. And I'm speaking broad. Some people do, but broadly they don't, you know. The military, it's even harder now these days to stay in the military for 20 years now. They want you gone by 15 years too,
Yep.
some people. So that dream is not a reality. Let's kind of look into that and try to redefining the dream for black men today. Go ahead, Suleiman.
Yeah. So let's redefine it. What does a dream look like in 2026?
For me, peace, stability, life where I'm not drowning, a life where my kids don't start behind, and a life where I can breathe. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. I got that written down, but I wouldn't say it like that. What the dream looks like today is, quite frankly, is making sure that your kids are in better shape than you are or you were, making sure they have a good starting point, making sure that all your hard work that you've done over the years, that at some point in time in your life, you are able to do whatever the hell you want to do
Yep.
when you want to do it.
Yep.
That to me is the dream for me. First and foremost, that my family is good, that my kids had a better start than me, and that they're doing just as good or better than I'm doing right now. Hopefully better. And that I have the peace of mind where at some point in time in my life, I can do what I'm doing on June 30th, retire again for the second time.
Yep.
And this time, do whatever the hell I want to, whenever the hell I want to do it. That's the dream.
Yeah, for me, it's about ownership, and not just ownership
Good.
business, but ownership of yourself, man. I mean, we need to
Yeah.
adult
That's
and
good.
start taking responsibility for ourselves. So
Good.
ownership, freedom, time, community, mental health, taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's basically it. And notice none of that is about being rich. We never said one time that we wanted to be rich. Go ahead.
It's about being whole, and that's the reality. It's about being whole.
That's it. That's
I've
it.
never, and I'm sure you're the same. I've never said that I want to be rich. That's not important to me. I want to be able to come home to my wife. I want to be able to come home and talk to my child. I want to be able to live a life. That's the big thing for me. Money does not always bring happiness. In most cases, it does not bring happiness at all.
Yeah, and so by definition, and what we've been saying here today or tonight is the new dream is not about climbing anybody's ladder. It's about building a foundation for your family.
Yep. And doing it in a way that honors who we are, not who America told us to be.
Ah, that hits it right on the head. That nails it all home right there. I think that was a good segment. It told us what we think the new dream is going to be about, and that we don't let America tell us what the dream is. We define our dream ourselves and everything. Uh, let's go on to the next segment, practical steps to build the new dream. Let's give the people something real. What are these steps, Suleiman?
Yeah, financial literacy, not protection, not perfection, just awareness, understanding what it takes to build a nest egg. Again, you're not trying to build a multi-billion-dollar nest egg. You're building a nest egg to get you to be able to survive after you stop working. Community, stop trying to do everything alone. You're not going to accomplish anything if you try to do it individually. We need allies. We need people in our community to recognize the seriousness of what we're dealing with, so that we can fight it as one. Mental health, therapy, brotherhood, honesty. We obviously know in the Black community that therapy and talking to a psychiatrist, that is taboo. Always has been taboo, basically due to what has happened to our people throughout time. But I'm telling you, you need to go and get yourself taken care of. Go talk to somebody, talk to them about what you're thinking about, your problems, whatever your faith is, talk to your God, whatever it requires to get you back to where you need to be. We need you. Skill building, the economy rewards adaptability now. If you work in the field like I do and like Tony has, you've seen the workforce change just over the last 2 to 3 years with AI. And it's not going to go back to what it was. AI is going to be able to do a lot of people's jobs as it gets better.
Yeah.
I tell people in the county that I work, all of the non-emergency calls, when you call the 911 center in my county, are AI, all of them.
Hmm.
Now, when you call emergency, you get a person, but the non-emergency number is AI. That would have never been thought of 10 years ago.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
keep that in mind when you're talking about adapting.
Yeah.
Ownership where possible, businesses, land, ideas, identity. I'm a big advocate of telling people to buy land. Land typically does not depreciate. It's going to maintain its cost until somebody wants to buy it, and then it's going to go up. So you can
Yeah.
always make money off that. So buy that.
I don't have much, but I do have land.
Right.
I want to add something else to that because of my own personal experience. I would say physical health also.
Yep.
Men, get yourself checked.
Yes, sir.
Get yourself checked, man. Stop being so strong and saying I can't take no time off of work. My big thing is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is something that we can survive. Too many black men are dying from prostate cancer because we don't want to know.
Right.
It's not that it's not that just don't want to know if we got it or not. It's a simple test. You go take it. It's a blood test. If you catch it early, you can be treated. I'm a living example of that. And I had prostate surgery. And just be careful how you decide to treat yourself. Don't let your manhood decide how you're going to be treated and everything. I have a friend of mine, well, associate at church, decided to forego the surgery and get the cancer out because he saw the side effects and how it would affect his manhood uh, and everything. So he decided to go with some new laser treatment, and now he's back and had to go in surgery anyway last week for a spot on his kidney. So it's quite possible it might have spread. We'll know this week. So make informed decisions. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't make stupid decisions based on your sexuality or whatever. because the prostate do affect you in that way. So let's do that. I'll get off my
Well,
soapbox on that, you know?
no, no, you ain't on the soapbox. I think you're telling the truth, man. And I mean, we've had this conversation before
Yeah.
on here, specifically talking to black men. I mean, the reality is, guys, I mean, what are you talking about your manhood, dude? Manhood is being there for your wife.
Yeah,
Your manhood is ensuring that your family, your children have security because you're there. The manhood is ensuring that, your wife and your kids have uh, financial stability in the home. If you're no longer here, if you're in the ground and you're on to a better place, your family is left here to deal with that.
yeah,
Sure, you might
exactly.
have a couple things that change from a personal perspective, but you're not the first person to deal with this in this country, and you're not going to be the last. So
And there
stop it, knock it off with this. I'm going to lose my manhood. Ridiculous.
yeah,
It's ridiculous. Get out of here, man.
exactly. It is. There's remedies for it. Just know that. The number 6, point we wanna make is redefine success for yourself, not for Instagram, not for society, not for your job, just for you. You decide what's successful for you, and,
Absolutely.
once you do that, I think everything will be okay. And let's do some reflection here. Let's Imma do this quick narrative, and then we'll go back and talk about our episode and everything, okay? Uh the American dream was never a guarantee. It was a story. It was a story we were invited to believe in, even when the country didn't always believe in us. But dreams evolve, people evolve, and so do we. Maybe the dream isn't a house with a white picket fence. Maybe it's a life where we're not pretending, a life where we're not performing, a life where we're not surviving, we're living. The dream is not dead. It's just ours to rewrite now. This is Gents Making Sense, and this story will continue. Give us your final words on this, Suleiman.
Yeah, I thought this was a very good episode, man. I mean, we've been kind of going out there on the edge a little bit the last couple episodes, but this one brings it back home to what it is that we're trying to do with this podcast. Again, we don't care anything about how many clicks we get. We don't care anything other than people listening to the content. But we're not looking to go viral. We're not looking to make money. Our job is to get two normal black dudes who is what the majority of black people are in this country is to get people to listen to just common sense and understand that it's always been a battle in this country. It's always going to be a battle in this country because of what this country was based off of when it comes to us. So we just need to focus on what we want to accomplish, what our goals are, and what we want to see, or how we want our people to succeed, and we'll be fine.
Yep. It's Making Sense on YouTube at Gents Making Sense. Go check us out. It's subscribe so you can get our weekly podcast. We put something out every week. We have shorts. We have a full episode. Like it, put comments, and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Spoutable at Gents MS. We have reached the 100,000 uh, viewer milestone, and we're number 5% in the country for small podcasters between 1 and 200 subscribers. So number 5% is very good for 200 subscribers and stuff. We want that subscribership to go up. We want to try to reach 500 as fast
Uh,
as possible, and
500 is
then
the goal. Yep.
yeah. So long time ago when we started this, when we had 10 subscribers, we were just happy to have those 10 subscribers and stuff, you know. When we only had 25 to 30 views a week, we were happy to have it. Now we're getting anywhere from 7,000 to 9,000 views per week. Let's keep it up. The goal is to, on a regular basis, to have at least 10,000 views per week. The only way we can do that is keep putting out good content and everything. Uh, do you have on another note, or we want to go ahead and end it like that?
No, I think we can end it like this. I
Yeah,
mean, this is a good show, man. I'm gonna let
yeah.
people, let
We'll
people.
let it stand on its own. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Stand tall, speak truth, and move like your ancestors invested in you. That's exactly what we talked about today. Thanks a lot, Suleiman. Thanks a lot for all our subscribers and viewers.
Yes,
We
sir.
will
Thanks,
see
everybody.
you next week. Peace out.
All right.